everyone. This is criminal profiler Pat Brown. And if you're a true crime person, this has been all over the news. This is the shooting of the got his title right, the UnitedHealthcare CEO, Biran Thompson. He was in New York for their annual conference, and he didn't get from his hotel over to the Hilton where the conference was before he got shot dead. It's such a Hollywoodish scenario with photos, with video, things that you can see what's happening. And there's the motive is unknown at this point. Theories are flying everywhere, and that's what I want to address here with this particular video. I want to address the theories. I have 5 theories, and you wonder, wait, isn't a profiler just supposed to look at the evidence and say, this is what happened? This is what the motive was? No, that's also Hollywood stuff. Or psychic stuff. Yes, I know exactly what happened. No, what a profiler does is what a detective does. All of us have to analyze the evidence during the investigation, especially when you're talking about right up front in the first 48 or whatever. You have to analyze the evidence, and the purpose of analyzing evidence isn't to come to an absolute conclusion. It's to figure out the best theories and the best avenues of investigation, because that's what you got to do. You have to investigate. You've got some information here, but at this point, you don't exactly know who did it or why they did it, or that you have the evidence to prove they did it. So you have to go down these avenues of investigation. So for a detective or profiler working on a case, the purpose is to come up with the best theories based on the evidence. Not just one, but more than one. You might have your top theory, then your next theory, then your next theory. And you might have some here, you're like, yeah, we're not wasting our time with this stuff down here. No, he probably wasn't involved in a child sex trafficking ring or ratting them out. It wasn't a Mason. Some of the Masons are involved, wasn't aliens. Detectives don't need to waste their time with silly theories, but they have to prioritize theories and decide how much effort they're going to put into each one of them, but also keep an open mind and not get tunnel vision. So I'm going to point out 5 different theories based on the evidence I've seen in this case, and I'm going to let you think about each one of these, because I hope the police are looking at each one of these, and which one it's going to end up with, I don't know. Because I also have to say this, I don't know, and you don't know exactly what the evidence is. We see a lot of it because it's kind of was on film. And evidence has been found. But we don't have all the information the police have. We also have what the media is telling us, and it's already conflicting. The media stuff is just annoying. And so I can only use the media stuff because that is also all I know right now. But this is an educational channel, so I'm trying to help you understand, not come to any absolutes. Okay, so now, before I get started, let me just say, if you're new to the channel, please do like and subscribe, support this educational channel. Check my playlists, because I analyze a new case every week, so I have hundreds of them. And if you have a particular case in mind, go to the search engine at YouTube and put in Profiler Pat Brown and whatever you're interested in, and see if I've already covered it. And hopefully you'll learn something. That's the point of my channel. All right, so let's get to this. Some very interesting issues with this case. First of all, we do have a shooter. We know it's one shooter because we saw the video. I didn't see the video. I saw the photo with him pointing the gun at him and shot him in the back. I think three bullets were fired. And he died before he got to the hospital. Didn't survive. They have said he was lying in wait, which is why people would say, well, this is a hitman then. Well, it may be, or it may not be. So I have 3 theories that include a hitman and 2 theories that don't. So let me just give you some of the basic information on the case, and then I'll go through the theories. All right, so here he is in town going to this conference. Just before 7 a.m., a masked gunman. He was mostly masked. He was like this. If I were going to be a masked gunman, I'd want to cover up way more. But anyway, He was a masked gunman. He was waiting outside the Hilton for several minutes, and this is a point of contention for me, or a really important piece of evidence. He was waiting outside for several minutes before the 50-year-old Thompson neared the building where he was scheduled to attend his company's annual conference for investors. Then he steps out from behind a car, bang, bang, bang. All right, actually his gun jammed and he had to try to fix it. And then, near the hotel, the investigators discovered a cell phone, and they've begun to analyze that forensically, as well as 3 bullet casings inscribed with the words, and now this is questionable, but these are the words: deny, defend, and depose. And I've seen different stories on this one. So things written on these, on the bullet casings, which is very odd. Okay. Most people don't bother writing on the bullet casings very carefully too, very carefully inscribed. Means something to the gunman, or he wants those casings to be found. And I'll explain that in a little bit. Those terms have been associated with insurance companies' strategies for rejecting claims. But police have said they're still working to determine the shooter's motive. Yes, because they do not know. And I've got 5 different theories, so the police might be there. All right. Now, right before this guy committed the shooting, he was at Starbucks. I heard 20 minutes and I've heard 30 minutes down the road at a Starbucks, which is odd behavior, in my opinion, for a hitman or anybody going about to commit a crime, that you really want to show up down the street at Starbucks. But he bought a bottle of water and 2 energy bars. A bottle of water was found with a smudged thumbprint on it, along with a cell phone. The police believed he dropped them as he ran from the scene, which is kind of interesting to me because at the scene, he was holding a gun like this with 2 hands. Where was the water bottle and the energy bars and the cell phone? I don't know where they were, but I would think that before he got to the scene, if he had any brains, he would put the water bottle, the energy bars, and the phone in his backpack and make sure it was zipped up so nothing would fall as he ran from the scene. So this is a very peculiar issue. So we have some things here that aren't usual, and they certainly aren't usual for a professional hitman. You think that guy would do a better job. Now, this guy over here, in case you're wondering who he is, supposedly over at a hostel fairly nearby, a few fellows checked in. This was a guy they thought might be this guy. He apparently had a phony New Jersey ID and wore some similar style clothing. However, people have noted that he's got a black backpack, he's got a gray backpack. I'm not so sure that this exactly matches. The pockets and stuff don't exactly match. So either he's not the guy, or he carried extra stuff with him to change into, which I'm not sure I would waste my time if I were that guy. But I would if I were that guy. Well, the hostel said some guy wore a mask a lot, but hey, here he is standing in front of a camera without a mask on. I mean, if you're going to commit this kind of a homicide, you think you'd cover up. So those are the weird things about this case. Now, what are the theories? Okay. Theory 1. Let's start with the hitman theory first. The first 2. I'm going to do 2 hitman theories, 2 non-hitman theories, and a final hitman theory. The first 2 hitman theories. One is that this guy was involved in insider trading, is being investigated. There was also a lawsuit. He could be in big trouble. He dumped a bunch of stocks. He made a lot of money in a way he shouldn't. Now, this guy already made $10 million a year. And if he's involved in insider trading, he's a crook. Okay? Simple fact. I'm not saying he was. I'm just saying if he was, he's a crook. A lot of people say, well, if he's a CEO of insurance companies, he's a crook anyway, because the rest of us Americans can hardly afford to go to the doctor, and he's sitting on $10 million and screwing us all. That could be one of the motives, and I'll get to that one in a minute. But let's go with the insider trading. Somebody decided he was going to open his big mouth, so they hired somebody to off him before he could speak up about the insider trading. One possibility. So that's one. 2, another person might hire a hitman. his wife. Now, he and his wife apparently are separated, living in separate houses. Doesn't mean that they're not nice to each other. It doesn't mean that she wants him dead. So I know nothing about their situation, but people will often say, well, what about the wife? She's going to collect, like, hey, get a big insurance payment, life insurance payment if he gets killed, murdered. So could she have hired somebody and didn't want that person to off him in town, but said, hey, I'll get somebody to do it when he's in New York. That's far away from me. So in theory, the wife could be involved in hiring a hitman to get rid of him. Now, you might say, what kind of a hitman? Because he doesn't seem terribly professional. Well, that is true. A lot of times when we think about hitmen, we think about people working for the mob, for the cartels, I don't know, Eastern European type hitmen, or the ones you see in the movies who've already committed like 100 hits, and they've got sniper abilities and all kinds of. They're amazing. I mean, they're so good at what they do. They can't even be. People don't even know who they are. They're being chased across the globe, but nobody knows what their real identity is because they're the hitman for somebody, some organization. Generally speaking, that's not what hitmen are. They're usually people that you can find for a lot cheaper than what you'd have to pay that kind of guy. But they also have less talent. So you might get a guy who goes to Starbucks before he goes and commits this crime, which is a little odd. So, and maybe drops things, which I can't figure out how, because again, he should have had those things zipped up. Shouldn't have, if this is him, he shouldn't have his face exposed. So there's a lot of things that are peculiar about this. So, but yes, is that possible? Sure. I want to point out something that bothers me about this crime a lot. They say he waited outside the Hilton for just minutes. I mean, they said less than 5 minutes. How did he know that Biran Thompson was going to show up exactly at that time, not 10 minutes before? He's over at Starbucks. A lot of people show up early for conferences. I don't know exactly when the conference starts, but I'm an early person. I never like to be late. I prefer to get to the location and then have coffee or something while I'm in the building, just so I don't screw up and, oh, I'm late for some reason. I got stuck in traffic or something. I want to be there early. So if he were trying to kill me off, by the time he rolled in from Starbucks in that last 5 minutes, I would have been already in the building. He would have lost his chance. So I find that if that's true, that he was only there for that short a period of time, how did he know Biran Thompson was going to walk out of his hotel, cross over to the Hilton at that moment in time and not have already done so? Usually when people lie in wait, they lie in wait a lot longer to make sure they don't miss the guy. So in the hitman theory, it makes sense. It's possible that there's more than one person involved. Somebody inside the hotel he's staying at with a phone that calls and says he's leaving the hotel now. And then he goes to the spot and shoots him. Maybe that's why there was a phone that was tossed or dropped or whatever, because there were two people involved. Maybe if there's really three people who rolled into this hostel, if any of that is true, maybe it's more than one person involved. One shooter, but a shooter with support. So those are the two main hitman theories that make any sense at all. Somebody wanted to shut him up, and a wife who wanted to off him. Now, I'm not saying either one of them is true. I'm just saying that would be the hitman theories. The two non-hitman theories is this guy's just a lunatic. Why? He wants to go kill this guy. Two possibilities, two motives. One, that he believes the insurance companies have screwed his family or his friends or his father or his mother or his wife or whatever, screwed him over. They tried to get help. They tried to get the insurance to pay the bills, and insurance companies like his, or exactly his insurance company, destroyed his family, or couldn't get the care that was needed. And so he's really pissed. And that's why he wrote defend, depose, deny, or whatever was written, that this is what these companies do to families. And this guy's the CEO. I'm going to get him. How he knew he would be in New York, where he get that information from, I do not know. But that could be a personal motive, which also would account for some sloppiness, that he's not really good at what he's doing because he's not really a hitman. So he's getting his coffee. He really doesn't care. Maybe he'll get caught. He may not care if he screws up. Now, he hasn't gotten caught yet, but he may get caught because there seems to be an awful lot of evidence floating around, unless that evidence is not really evidence, and some not, like the water bottle. Maybe it's not the water bottle that he was using. Maybe it's another water bottle. And the phone may not be his phone. So maybe that is known. That information is actually, that's not even evidence. We don't know yet. All right, but okay, let's go with he's pissed off. I just want to get this. This guy represents, not this guy personally. I mean, I don't know the guy, but he represents the system. Okay, that's a possibility. The second motive this guy could have that's personal. Oh, not so much personal, but political. That he's one of these guys who has become obsessed with the wrongs of the country, of the United States, that the medical system that, you know, that people can't access. He's very political. And because he's very political, he's decided to go after somebody that he thinks is part of the system. And he writes again those things on the casings because he wants to make a point. That's like his manifesto. So it could be a personal, that this is what you did to my family, or it could just be a political statement, a manifesto. Those are 4. Okay, I want to go to the 5th one, which is a little bit different. Also hitman theory. But this hitman theory is the hitman is hired by Biran Thompson himself. Why could that be a possibility? Not saying it is, I'm just saying it could be a possibility. Why? Well, he's got insider trading issues, lawsuit issues. Sometimes people in midlife crisis who think their lives are about to crash and burn, they want to take their own lives. Sometimes they take their family with them, but sometimes they just want to take their lives. They want to end it all, and maybe in a way that will benefit their family and not make them look like a wimp, or their family still gets the insurance money. So they want to find a way to take themselves out that looks like an accident or a murder. It is possible that he could have hired this guy. And that could be why the guy knew exactly when he was leaving the building. He could have said, I'm going to be at the Hilton exactly at this time. I'm going to leave my hotel room and you're going to see me walk across exactly at this time. Not earlier, not later, exactly at this time. And I don't want to see it happen. Just shoot me in the back. And so that's what happened. He goes to Starbucks, gets his stuff, he waits out the time, and he knows this is exactly when he's going to cross. That's why he can show up at the last minute, because he knows when he's walking over to the Hilton. And he takes him on. That's another possibility. 5 theories. I don't know what. Now the police should be investigating all those avenues, looking to see what evidence will support which one of these theories. And in the long run, some of these theories may disappear. It's like, this absolutely is not it. This is absolutely not it. Now we're looking at this. If they catch the guy, they might find out exactly what the motive was. But they have to keep an open mind for now, investigating the different avenues as to what could have happened and what may be the motive of the shooting. And we outside the police investigation, we can speculate all we want, but we don't have enough information to come with such strong conclusions. I can't even come up with a strong conclusion with what I've seen so far. That's why I give you 5 theories. Now, maybe over time I can narrow that myself, but I'm not going to do that because at this point I can't. But I hope this helps you understand the possibilities and what the police are looking at. And we'll have to be patient, see what they come up with. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for being here. Again, if you're new to the channel, please do like and subscribe. And I may be back when there's more information on this case. Thanks for being here. Bye.